In today's video, we'll look into the process of creating a memorable peg list for numbers 30 to 39. Hi, I'm Nick Mema from ImpressiveMemory.com, and this is part 6 of the How to Memorize Numbers Easily series. If you are watching this video for the first time, I highly suggest that you watch parts 1 to 5 first at the playlist section of the YouTube channel. The playlist is called How to Memorize Numbers Easily. With that said, let's get into today's video. Let's have a brief look at the alphabet of numbers. Our main focus of this video will be numbers 30 to 39. The number 3 will be the main focal point of this video in combination with the rest of the numbers. If you want to learn more about the alphabet of numbers, head over to part 3 of the series after this video. We'll start with number 30. Looking at the alphabet of numbers, number 3 is represented by the consonant sound M, while 0 is represented by the sounds S or Z. With this knowledge, we can come up with words like mouse, maze, or moss. Notice the consonant sounds each word makes. The consonant sounds are prominent. For the word moss, ignore the double letter as it only produces a single S sound. If you're confused by this, I expanded on consonant sounds back in part 3. Please have a look at it after this video. To continue, number 31 is a combination of 3 and 1. 3 is represented by M, while 1 is represented by T or D. You can use words like mat, might, mad, or mute, for example. For 32, letters M and N represent it. Think of words like man, mean, or mine, for example. The consonants M and M stand for number 33. When combined, you can form words like mom, meme, or mama, and so on. With 34, the consonants M and R represent it. What words come up? What about marrow or marry, for example? In both words, disregard the double letter. For 35, the letters M and L must appear, and when they do, you can form words such as mile, mule, or mow, for example. For 36, the consonants M for 3 and sh or ch for 6 are prominent. Think of words like mash or match. With 37, you can use a word like mug if you use M for 3 and a hard G sound for 7. You can also use a word like mic if you use the consonant K sound for 7. For 38, the number 8 is represented by the F or V sounds. This can form words like morph or movie, for example. And finally, for number 39, you can form words such as mop, map, or mob. It's represented by M for 3 and P or B for 9. So that's the process of coming up with peg words for 30 to 39. It's a bit like playing the game of Scrabble, only this time you're doing it for numbers. You can also use your own language if you're not comfortable with English. As long as you include those consonant sounds in your words, you can use the language you prefer. To learn more about the rules of this process, go to part 2 of the series. You'll learn why we ignore silent and double letters in our peg words. So to help you use your imagination to create your own peg words, have a look at my own peg list. I've used the Swahili language to form words for specific numbers, but I'll also show you the English translations. For number 30, I use the word mouse, and I simply picture a mouse whenever I see the number. For 31, I use the word mat. I imagine looking at a beautiful mat. Man is the peg word I use for 32. I picture a man whenever I come across the number. For 33, mom is my favorite peg word. I simply visualize my mother. With 34, I use the word mara, which is a wildlife national park in Kenya called the Masai Mara. I imagine myself gazing at the animals while I'm there. For 35, I use the word Mali, which is also a Swahili word meaning land. I imagine myself having lots and lots of land. With 36, Moshi is my peg word of choice. Again, it's a Swahili word meaning smoke. I picture seeing a huge cloud of smoke hovering above. For 37, I use the word Makaa. Also a Swahili word, it means charcoal. I simply imagine myself roasting some piece of meat using charcoal. Movie is the word I often use for 38. I imagine watching my favorite movie whenever I see this number. And finally, for 39, I use the word mop to associate it with the number. I visualize myself mopping the floor. To conclude, so that's the whole process of creating a peg list for numbers 30 to 39. You've also seen how I use Swahili to form peg words for certain numbers, so feel free to use your best language. But to put what you've learned so far into an example, have a look at the 8-digit number below. 31,303,938. It looks scary, doesn't it? Especially if you were to memorize it, right? But we'll use the peg method to easily and vividly remember this number. So let's break it down in twos, like this. We'll take the first 2 digits, 31, and we'll use the word mat to represent it. We'll go to the next 2 digits, 30, and we'll use the word mouse to represent number 30. Moving to the next 2 digits, 39, we'll use the word mop to represent it. And finally, we'll go to the last 2 digits, 38, and we'll use the word movie to remember it. Next, we'll use a silly story to link one peg word to the next one. Here's my version. I picture a mat being chewed on by a mouse. I then picture a mouse wiping the floor using a mop. And finally, I visualize a mop watching a movie. Using this silly story, I've just memorized an entire 8-digit number. All you need to remember is the story and the peg words. You don't even need to remember the original number itself. So when you combine a mat, a mouse, a mop, and a movie, you get 31,303,938. Do you now find it hard to forget the number? I know you do. So come up with your own peg list for numbers 30 to 39 and use your imagination widely. You can do it. If you've enjoyed this video, like and share with your friends. Subscribe and press the notification bell if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.